Y'all tired of hearing me say if I saw it at the bins, I'd pick it up? Because I wasn't at the bins. Howdy y'all, my name is Gretchen and I am the Restless Thrifter. I'm a full-time reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. First of all, it's a collaboration with Jen the Reseller. If you're not already subscribed to her channel, I highly recommend it and I will link that below. I'll also put a picture here so you can see what you're looking for. She's awesome and she sells very similar things to me when it comes to clothing. I think she only does clothing at this time, but she's very down to earth and realistic, and I love that about her. She also always shares sell-through rate and average sales price, so she keeps it real for you guys. And she and I both calculate sell-through rate in the same way, so when I talk about sell-through rate here and you go watch her video, it's going to be apples to apples, which is cool because I know there's a couple of different ways to calculate it. So what we're going to be doing today is a collaboration on aesthetics. So different aesthetics in today's fashions. And I am not a fashionista by any means. I would say Jen would say she's not either. We both just dress for comfort. She probably has a little bit more knowledge because she has kids and I don't. And so I just have to keep up with what's in style by watching other YouTubers and seeing what's out in the stores. But it is important, right, to be picking up things that are in fashion. Now, I will say, through this exercise, what we did is we took a list that was provided by Vendoo. I use it to cross-post to all the platforms that I list on, which is eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, and Depop. And they had a really cool list. It said, it was in there, where was it? Now, they published it at the end of the year last year. Now, I will say, they mentioned hashtags. I don't find it useful to use hashtags. I just use the keywords within my listings, or especially in my titles, if I think that will really help sell an item. But as far as using an actual hashtag with a string of words together, when I was doing searches in eBay and Poshmark, that was not helpful. Perhaps that is helpful on Depop or some of the other marketplaces, but it didn't seem to work very well for eBay, which is my primary. So I just use a string of keywords. I put it at the end of my listings. I do not keyword stuff, meaning I don't use keywords that aren't relevant to what I'm selling. And I know people do that too, and it's just not cool, guys. It looks stupid in your listing, for one thing. And if people are searching and your stuff pulls up because it's got a brand or a style that is not relevant to your item, that's just not cool. You want to help people find what they're looking for, not force them to look at your stuff regardless, right? Okay, now I'm going off on a tangent, but we took this list and it has like 50 some odd styles, which some of them were new to me. Most of them I had at least heard of. Some of them I don't understand the difference between the two, but I'll go over that. And we split the list. She took the first half, I took the second half. And I'm going to go over things that I've bought. In some cases I found stuff, but it wasn't worth actually picking up because of the price and the brand and the sell-through rate just weren't there. My cost of goods tends to be pretty high when I'm shopping at thrift stores, and that's just not the best place to be picking things up for aesthetic purposes only. It's really going to be important to look at the brand, the fabric, the quality, and just whether these things are selling. So I took videos of things while I was in the stores because I did have fun going to the thrift stores and looking and finding, but I didn't actually pick up some of those things. I've talked long enough, we'll get started on it. This video is going to be kind of pieced together because of a few reasons. One, I'm at home right now recording the things that I had picked up because they're here. But I need to go over to my dog sitting gig. I've started dog sitting as well. To go check on him as it is 12:30 and I don't want to leave him for more than a few hours at a time. So I'm going to take my light and my laptop and my phone, of course, and I'm going to go back over there and I'll finish this video up over there, so you'll see me in two different places. Grandpa Core is one that's been around a while, so you're probably familiar with it. It's classic old man style and retro vibes. It includes chunky knit sweaters, cardigans, vests, argyle, plaid, suspenders, bow ties, all of those things. I love to pick up grandpa core. I didn't find anything specifically for this video, but I do have some things in my inventory. Good old grandpa sweaters. These are fun to pick up. And then flat caps and newsboy caps, I do pick up those quite a bit. So here are a few in my inventory. Heritage. So heritage fashion is supposed to be classic American brands with durability and quality. They also say utility and workwear brands. And they also say anything from like Peaky Blinders. So to me, heritage is very confusing. But when they say heritage brands are Ralph Lauren, Patagonia, Timberland, and Carhartt, it starts to make a little bit more sense to me. So I'm going to cut to this sweater that I believe falls in the heritage category that I picked up for this video. And this was a really cool sweater for $8.99. The brand is not something I'd heard anything about, but it was Ireland's Eye, and it's a wool cashmere blend, and it's a size large. It's this really cool color, olive green with gray fold-up cuffs and gray on the neckline. But this, to me, says a lot of things. It says Normcore, the dad core. It says heritage, quality fabrics with classic, look and feel. To me, that is for sure going to fit into that category. And some things for my existing inventory. This gorgeous Cole Haan leather bag and J. Crew wool vest. Some more J. Crew, these boots that recently sold. And these Ralph Lauren women's flats that sold but were returned. Kawai is an aesthetic out of Japan. They describe it as youthful, vibrant, pastels, bright, adorable. And Kawai means cute in Japanese. So it's just looking for cute items. One aesthetic I didn't find anything specifically for when I was out thrifting was the Kawai aesthetic. Now I did recently find a pair of jeans, and I put a picture up here that fit great with this aesthetic. I actually had two pairs of jeans, and one of them has bunnies on it, and one of them has the little character from Hello Kitty's Friends. So what is Kidcore supposed to be? Something from the 90s and 2000s, youthful, retro, nostalgic innocence. It says it's mostly primary colors and rainbow, sometimes pastels, things that are used in the classic kids' toy color schemes. Things like JoJo Siwa and Rugrats, Nickelodeon. Okay, the aesthetic I probably failed the most at was Kidcore. Oh my gosh, I know it's supposed to be more like primary colors, which you'd think would be easy. These t-shirts were the only things I could really think of that would be Kidcore. I think Kidcore also has a retro look and feel to it, which this did. Care Bears that I was going to say falls into the Rainbow Core category. That could be Kidcore. Got the cartoon, got the retro aspect of it, got the bright colors. So that would be Kidcore. I mean, it's definitely Rainbow Core as well. Mermaid Core is about mermaids, of course. So you think iridescent, turquoise, aqua, scales. This is supposed to be basically anything a mermaid would wear on land. Slip dresses, halter dresses, lace-up tops, ruffles, sequins. These were Mermaid Core. If you look at that blue one, it's got that detail on the waist that looks kind of like scales. And then the other one just kind of has that mermaid shape. And I think of these two colors as being very Mermaid Core. Here are two more dresses that I would fit into the Mermaid Core category. They do kind of look like scales. You got the sequins, which sequins are super popular again this year. And I believe that color green is really popular. Minimalist, finally. An aesthetic that I can relate to. Basic, everyday wear, classic pieces. So it says minimalism is beautiful, clean, simplicity. Two items from my inventory, these St. John pants and this Coldwater Creek dress. They are classic fabrics. I would consider those minimalist. Here is another thing that I would put in the minimalist category. This is a Ralph Lauren. I would also put it in Preppy, maybe Heritage. This is new with tag, size 10. It's a dress that retailed for how much? $185, and it's a beautiful burgundy. I would say minimalist because, you know, it's not really a neutral, but it's the solid color with just classic lines and a really pretty draping to it. Something that you would add your own style by adding accessories that fit your style. So you could dress this up. Normcore seems like a real give up category to me. It's just whatever doesn't fit in any other aesthetic, I guess. They just characterize it as average normal clothing. Classic everyday wear with a hint of retro classic vibes. I mean, doesn't that sound like a give up? It says when people think of the sitcom Seinfeld, that's Normcore. All right, so I picked up this really basic shirt that Seinfeld probably would have worn. I really got a lot of Ralph Lauren, didn't I? Classic fit. This is a 3XLT. I don't pick up polos except for in like polo brand, Ralph Lauren, you know, the little polo guy. I don't pick these up unless they're in plus sizes now because the regular sizes just don't sell that well for me. But this is a classic one, and not only is it a 3X, it is a tall, and it cost me $4 because they were having a purple tag sale. And I had this jacket in my inventory, and based on what Vendoo said and showed, this jacket would be Normcore. Oh, Phoebe Buffet from the sitcom Friends. She definitely had a style all her own, and it looked very hippie, bohemian, very fun as well, and relaxed. Long skirts, vibrant colors, fun patterns, mixed matched and layered pieces, chunky knit sweaters. You know, she probably thrifted her whole wardrobe. It was also very feminine at the same time. These are two dresses that I think fit into the Phoebe Buffet category. The long, lean dresses. This one was new with tags, but, you know, wasn't going to be worth the price. But I loved the look of it and the ruffles. And then the other one was also new with tags. And it's that One World, which is kind of like an earthy type of brand. They weren't worth picking up for the price, but to me, those are Phoebe Buffet dresses. I found a Phoebe Buffet style jacket. I was so excited. This one was priced up because it was in this thrift store's vintage. It was priced at $40. It was in their vintage section. If it had been half off, I might have considered it, but I think the condition was too poor. But cheap enough, I would have gotten it, or if the condition was right, I would have gotten it. Because it was, I want to say that was real suede too. Maybe not though. But it was super cute, and it was true vintage, and Phoebe would have rocked it. Preppy's probably one of the easiest ones for me to spot. Plaid and argyle, cardigans, half-zip sweaters, Oxford button-downs, and polos. They say that bolo brands for preppy clothes include Barber, Burberry, Brooks Brothers, J. Crew, LL Bean, Lacoste, Lilly Pulitzer, Pendleton, Ralph Lauren, Vineyard Vines, Marc Jacobs, and Draper James. I have picked up all of those with the exception of Barber, which I have never seen. All right, these vests and jackets, I am calling the preppy category. You've got your plaid, and then you got your fleece vest. I think any prep needs to have plaid and several vests to choose from. Puffer vests, fleece vests, that seems to be the preppy go-to in the winter, or at least the preppy folks that I know here in Texas. These are Ralph Lauren, so Lauren by Ralph Lauren, super preppy. They're plaid, super preppy, and these tall welly boots are super preppy. If they didn't have that little tag missing at the bottom or loose on the bottom, and if they were cheaper, I'd want to get them, but they surprisingly didn't have a great resale rate, so I passed them up. More plaid, more super preppy. Here's a Pearl by Leela Rose dress, and a Lane Bryant Madras plaid dress. The punk aesthetic is said to be from the 70s and is like basically the opposite of peace and love hippie. It's supposed to be loud, abrasive, aggressive. The clothing is supposed to have a tough grunge look, studs, spikes, leather, dark colors, distressing, and tartan plaid. Plaid, that's really all I could do. I found these plaid boots. Rainbow core is centered around the rainbow colors, of course, and the LGBTQIA plus community, plus any allies or supporters. Rainbows are not just for those in the community, but for everybody who wants to be a supporter as well. And as someone who grew up in the 80s, I love rainbows. Here's 2 examples of rainbow core. I mean, pretty easy to spot rainbows, right? These rainbow dresses, I would also include keywords like pride in the title. These were very, very cheap fast fashion dresses, so I wasn't about to pick them up. This was a fun one for rainbow core. These were hand done. These were a DIY, I'm almost positive. I thought this was a fun way to represent the rainbow core as well. And this may also be able to fit into like Kidcore or Kawai. And they are Skechers. If they had been in better condition and less expensive, I would pick those up. Another pair of fun Skechers that fit the rainbow core aesthetic. Really cute. Again, if they had been in better condition or cheap enough, I would have gotten them. I see retro glam and I immediately think Chanel jackets. I think Jackie O. It encompasses the upper class formal chic business wear. It's influenced by formal fashion, sophistication, royalty, class, and prestige. So designers like Chanel, Gucci, and St. John create that type of collection. I did find a couple of jackets at Goodwill that I would consider retro glam. This one is actually vintage, not just retro, both of these. And I think the one on the right could even be handmade, but they're gorgeous and they have that look of Jackie O, the one on the right for sure, with the pink gingham. And the one on the left had those big chunky buttons. I might pick up each one of these if I found them at the bins. This could be a stretch, but it is a pair of heels in a designer brand I've never heard of, and it is certainly retro. I would actually think these are Y2K and not the good kind of Y2K. I debated picking these up. I paid $9.99, but they did seem to sell pretty well. And yeah, they've got the red bottom. That's not Louboutin. Made in Italy, size 38.5. But I saw this little detail here and made in Italy, and I'm like, that's gonna usually indicate quality. The brand is called Cesar Paciotti or Paciotti. I'm seeing somebody has on Mercari a black pair that's similar to this for sale for $4.99, like $499. See one pair sold in pink for $218, but those were brand new in box. So I don't know about these particular guys, but I'm gonna list them at $99 and go from there. They're called the Plexi heel. And some retro glam from my inventory. This is a true vintage coat with a really cute velvet collar and big buttons. Then I have some glittery sparkly topaz earrings, also vintage. And then this top really has a glam look. It kind of has a shimmery sheen and there is a tweed to it. So it has a retro look as well, especially with that peplum bottom. It's by Corey Lynn Coulter. Rocker celebrates drug, sex, and rock and roll. It includes band tees, concert tees, guitars, skulls, roses, studs, and lots of leather. Everything that I could find that was rocker related either wasn't high quality enough or really fit in more of like a glam rocker. I thought these boots would fit into that aesthetic. They were pretty cheap boots. But to me, that's the kind of rocker I'd want to be, is like, you know, one with diamonds and pearls. Oh yeah, here's the rocker jacket that I picked up. Glam rock. That wasn't actually the category, but that's what I'm calling it. $10.99 is how much I paid. It's a 3X. And you can see with the prices why I didn't pick up a lot of things in the other aesthetics. But I thought this was a really good quality. And Leather jackets in plus size. It is a little harder to find them. It also has that knit fabric in the back and on the sleeves, which is great for plus size because those are some areas that you need a little bit more give when you're curvy. And it's a good mixed media style to have. Here's more rocker. They had a flaw for sure. And they were also just Forever 21, but they did have those studs down the side. I would consider that rocker. And here's a couple of Rock Band t-shirts from my inventory that definitely fit this aesthetic. Journey and Def Leppard. The skater style is about baggy shirts, flat bottom sneakers, logo tees, baggy pants like those vintage, really baggy jeans, but also skinny jeans because the skater style has been around for a long time and I guess it's changed over the decades. Apparently Skater Girl is a trending hashtag. Brands would include Empire, Vans, Stussy, Thrasher, Obey, Primitive, and is it Huff or HUF? I don't know most of those, but I do know Vans. This is going to be my skater category. Vans. To me, Vans are classic skater shoes. These were in gorgeous shape. Did somebody even wear these? I'm not sure. I paid $8.99, but I was okay with that because I knew I'd get the return and probably a quick sale because they were in such great shape. They're the classic checkered and they're a size men's 12. Slow fashion, opposite of fast fashion, obviously. They are focused on quality garments that are supposed to last forever. But another thing that I think of when I think of slow fashion is sustainability. So I picked out some Rothy's because they are made out of recycled materials. So this is just your basic black Rothy's. These do get faked a lot. So one way you can tell when something is fake is by going and looking here. It should say made in China, not made in the USA. And it also just makes sure everything's spelled correctly because there are some common misspellings in some of these. It's country of origin that they misspell a lot. So it says like origin, it's missing an I or something. So a pair of Rothy's, these retail for $149 and they are called the Point. The ASP in Terapeak is $39 with a 39% sell-through rate, $39.39. I think I can get more than this because remember that's the average. The active ASP right now is $75 and I do think they sell for more on Poshmark too. So because of that, because they retail for $149 and they are like a classic, I'm gonna go ahead and put in my draft that I want to list them for $70. Southwestern is one of my favorite aesthetics to shop for. It is something that I actually source for already. And you can see that there's a lot of that Mexican and Indian inspired prints and fabrics, a lot of woven and turquoise, and it kind of crosses over into Western. So the first thing I want to show you guys in that aesthetic is this pair of Polo Ralph Lauren shoes. And they've got that Southwestern style print. And they're just a nice sneaker. Polo Ralph Lauren is a good preppy and heritage brand as well. But it recommends hashtags like Southwestern, Boho Western, Southern Belle. Honestly, I would not use that one. No, I'm not gonna use the Southern Belle one. Western, Country, Rodeo, and Santa Fe. I think Santa Fe is a good one. So yeah, and look at those beautiful colors. I looked up these shoes and they're actually men's, I think. I think they could be unisex, but they just have a size 7 in them, and when I put them up against a women's 9, they seem to be that size. So these appear to be men's. The style is called the Thornton. All right, the Thornton has an ASP of $34. I just round up to the nearest dollar, and a 14% sell-through rate. I would say in general, that's not good. I do like to get at least 25 or 30% as my sell-through rate. It's gonna cap out at 100% with the way I calculate it and the way it's calculated in Terapeak. The average listing price is $49. I think these are particularly cool. Once I clean up the soles, they're gonna look almost like new because the rest of them look like new. So I'm gonna list mine for $50. Okay, so here are a few things that I did see at the thrift store, and this first one, I don't know what brand it is, but it was $8, and whatever brand it was wasn't really worth picking up, but gorgeous colors and style. I really loved this one, and if it had been 50% off, I would have picked that up for $4, but at $8. And then this next one is a pair of jeans with some Southwest embroidery on it. Do I show what the brand is? I think it was something like Forever 21 or Gap, or, you know, something that doesn't really resell well. Plus they were not in the best of shape, but they were really cute, and that had that Southwest design. And then this one is kind of fun. It also wasn't on sale. Goodwill's gotten so expensive too, so I just don't pick up that much there. But it's got a really fun vintage look. I think this was handmade. I would say this is from the 80s or 90s. If I was at the bins, I would pick up all of these things. And then this one is gorgeous, gorgeous. You're probably thinking, why didn't you pick that up? It's Shein. It's Shein Curve, and so it is a larger size. It's a 2X. If I could even stand to wear a jacket or even a sweater in Texas, I would have gotten this for myself. It's beautiful, right? But I think it was $8, and it probably didn't even cost that much brand new, but it is beautiful. I love those blues. So what Vendoo is saying is sportswear is a broad term that includes activewear, something you would use to play sports, and as well as professional sports merchandise and teamwear. I don't tend to pick up a lot of that. Brands that they say to look out for are Nike, Adidas, Air Jordan, Reebok, Under Armour, Champion, Columbia, and New Balance. Sportswear may be one of the easiest ones to find things, but also to me the hardest, because finding good things. There's a lot of sportswear out there, but finding real Nikes that are sought after, or jerseys or things like that, to me is hard. So I really only picked up one pair of shoes, and they're kind of a stretch. This next pickup is, you know, something I like to pick up, Converse. I like to pick up ones that are different or ones that sell quickly. And I had never seen this type of like vinyl fabric, this bright green color either. I imagine somebody bought these who went to UNT, University of North Texas, because they are the mean green. These are unisex, men's 7, women's 9. These are a little bit different too. They are Converse. They've got like a different label in them. They have this like rainbow in them. You know, it might be a stretch to call these sportswear because no one's really playing any sports in Converse. Converse really crosses a lot of different genres, but I would say this particular style of Converse would fit in that sportswear. But I did see sold anywhere from $25 to $55. I also see one that sold for $14. But these are Kelly Green Chakra Converse. And so I'm gonna list them at $45. I do have this pair of Adidas sneakers in my closet. I debated whether I wanted to pick them up because they didn't seem to have a good sell-through rate, but they were in pristine condition. Steampunk, so fun, yet so hard to find. It's a fusion of Victorian era fashion and the technology of the Industrial Revolution. Elegance with a touch of ruggedness, and you'll see uses of leather, brass, gears, and goggles. Think top hats, waistcoats, corsets, bustles, and lace-up boots. I've really only seen this at Halloween. I didn't find a whole lot of steampunk, but I did find a couple of pair of boots. And these boots, if they had been real leather or a good brand like Sorel or something like that, I would have picked them up. They were cute. I would say these fit in with the steampunk aesthetic. Wow, it's storming. Do you guys think it's a stretch to call these steampunk? I think they look steampunk. That lace up the back looks like something a pirate would wear. I think of steampunk. Streetwear is another one that seems easy but is hard for me. It's athletic wear with an urban influence. Yeah, I just typically don't pick up streetwear because I don't know what I'm doing in that category. It is the top selling category on Depop and Grailed, which I haven't sold anything on Depop recently. Not surprising. Bolo brands are kind of the same as the sportswear, which is Nike, Adidas, Supreme, Stussy, Champion, Fila, Palace, never heard of it, Primitive, Reebok, and New Balance. Pretty much a bunch of nothing for me on the techwear category as well. It says it's about function, innovation, and an intersection of technology and fashion. Like what? Garments that are durable, weather resistant, multifunctional, and stylish and modern, and apparently all black. Waterproof jackets, cargo pants, utility vests, and technical fabrics like Gore-Tex, Kevlar. So I guess things that you'd wear to a shooting range. I don't know. This category doesn't seem real to me either. Who wears this stuff? It was a stretch for me. All right, another aesthetic that I feel like I failed at was techwear. I'm gonna put these cool cargo pants in the techwear category. Cool is a brand that I do like to pick up. It's a quality outdoors brand, and these are just a classic pair of gray cargo pants. I did spend $10 on them, but I think I can get 30. These are a size 42 by 32, and so that's great too, because finding larger sizes in techwear, outdoors wear, I think is harder. Here's a tactical sweater that's used probably for security. And I'm going to throw this Tumi backpack into the tech category. Tomato Girl. Just kidding, it's Tomato Girl. I had not heard of this, but apparently this was a TikTok trend made popular last summer. I don't know. And it's what it looks like, some red-hued clothing. No, really, it's supposed to be inspired by the lifestyle and fashion of the Mediterranean coast or anywhere that tomato dishes are popular, like Barcelona, Santorini, and the Amalfi Gardens. So it's light and breezy, lace, linen, crochet, and then it's centralized on a red palette complemented by neutrals. I didn't find anything out and about that fit this aesthetic, but I do have a few dresses and some shoes in my closet already that I think of fits this. This is one that I listed recently, really cute mini dress. And then these next two are both plus size, they're city chic, and they both can be worn off the shoulder, and I think they fit the aesthetic perfectly. Twee, it's a fun word to say, and it's a fun style to look at. It's a British term meaning dainty, delicate, cute, or quaint. And the perfect person who embodies twee is Zooey Deschanel and New Girl. Also Lily Collins and Emily in Paris. Here's a skirt I already had in my inventory. Very cute, very full and flared. And then this dress, which has a high collar and long sleeves. And then this dress has even a petticoat underneath. Lastly, this cute dress from Target that was a bad pickup because it's taking forever to sell. I do like picking up Western. Living in Texas, it's not too hard for me to find. And so I'm going to show you a few things from my inventory. And then I found a few things in the wild. But finding quality brands is a little hard sometimes. Pearl Snap vintage shirts are fun to pick up. This is Ariat. It's a great brand. I would say this particular style wasn't popular. And then this tooled leather bag from Patricia Nash, gorgeous. And of course, cowboy boots. Here's a few men's pairs, some traditional women's boots with a pop of color. And then you've got these booties that have more of a cowgirl rocker look. And a really fun vintage rodeo shirt. I loved this. I don't know if it's a dress or an overlay or a vest. I think it's a dress, but this would fit with the Western aesthetic. Again, if this were at the bins, I would have picked something like this up, but not for Goodwill prices. Am I getting repetitive enough for you? T-shirts like these with the skull and roses graphics, wild and free. This is like a modern Western look. you would definitely see someone wearing that like out at, you know, a rodeo or a fair or something here in Texas. This may fit better with the boho aesthetic, which wasn't in my category. But I also would call this Western because girls down in Texas love to wear boho items. This fringe and this lace is definitely very girly Western. If I saw this at the bins, I'd pick it up. Y2 freaking K. I think the clothes from that era just are terrible, but they are popular right now. People like to go wear the old trends, and there were actually two categories, Y2K vintage and Y2K style, with the style just being newer clothes that are meant to look like Y2K styles. But really, they're the same things: baguette bags, baby tees, halter tops, pleated miniskirts, velour tracksuits, and lace camisoles. Blingy things, things that maybe Beyonce or Britney Spears or even a Bratz doll would wear. Do you guys remember what this particular style was called, where it looked like they had folded the fabric and then they printed on it, and so when you opened up the fabric it had some gaps? There's got to be a name for it. It was super popular in the Y2K era. It fits that Y2K. This one was vintage, not just Y2K style, but it fits that aesthetic very well. Another Y2K style was whatever this is called, with the butterflies, the foil, the tie-dye look, that type of design, super popular. This is also vintage, so this would fit in the Y2K and not just Y2K style. Here's a pair of, I'm pretty sure it's dead stock jeans from the Y2K time frame as well. They were sparkly, silvery. They were kind of cool. I'd pick those up at the bins. I think I'd be okay with getting those in a denim box as well, because I think those will sell. Man, it's raining hard now. This pair of boots, Juicy Couture, I do not believe these are true vintage, so I would put them in the Y2K style, but Juicy Couture was big in the Y2K era. Think Paris Hilton. And here are some Y2K styles that I have in my inventory already. Guys, thank you so much for watching this weird cobbled together video, and just keep listing.